Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
We're back.
We are so brown.
How are you?
I'm good. No, actually, I'm not good.
Oh.
Oh no, it's not that dramatic.
Oh.
Like, I'm just tired. It's hot. It's humid. I just want to sleep all the time, and I'm busy, and I'm stressed.
Well, welcome back to the You Don't Love Me Boys podcast with us two.
Mm.
And we were away for the Pride Month because Mama, lots happened. We got
Because-
busy. I got ill when we went to film
We're anti-pride.
and record.
That's
Yeah,
what
we are. We are anti-Pride.
Pride is a protest, and we were protesting Pride.
Period.
We don't want any of that. Keep that
Yeah.
gay stuff away from us.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't want any part of it.
But you know what that means? Now you're saying that people bring the gay stuff to us. I see what you're doing here. It's like reverse psychology.
It also means we probably didn't have any corporate Pride bookings this year. So
What's that about?
Listen, we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
We knew it was going to
yeah.
happen ages ago. So like all the brands who are like, we care and we love you. But listen, that's what you get for trying to get loyalty from a corporation. Like they're just going to go where the money is, obviously. So
Yeah, that's true.
So if there's an anti-gay rhetoric right now, a lot of businesses are going to be like,
we are so sorry for the noise outside.
A lot of businesses are going to be like, well, we got to protect ourselves, or at least they're supporting in different ways.
That's the wild thing. Like, the whole like anti-trans or anti-LGBTQ and anti all this. It's just like, really? Like, are we just anti-humans? Are we just anti-humanity? Are we anti, I was saying this, after we were on the float for New York Pride, and it was so incredible. You see all those beautiful faces of the community. And after that, I was like, wait, so people are against like love because people are so obsessed with, well, you are with a trans man, therefore you're not really with a man, or you're with the trans woman, therefore you're not this, or you're with this, you're with that. And it's like, why do you care? No, but like, why do you care? Like, people in love is a spectrum. Who cares who people fall in love with? Leave them to it.
But also, like, now that you care and you've done something about it, has that really made your life better?
Oh, that part.
Have you saved America?
That part right there.
Have you made Britain white again?
Yeah.
By making sure trans people don't use bathrooms. Like, what's the end goal? I don't understand. Like, it's literally educated idiots. That's what it is. They have gone to the school of X, formerly known as Twitter. They have doom scrolled till 4 a.m, and they know.
They just know.
They know stuff.
They know.
Yeah,
that
it's just
people of color and trans people are the evil ones.
The complete fuckery of it all is that you have to come at them from a place of compassion and go, okay, so you think that you think brown people are not as good as white Europeans. Let's have a conversation. Why must we have a conversation? Like, I've been on this planet going around 36 times, and
old,
and I've seen massively, but like I've seen this rhetoric come and go and come and go so many times, and it's like, oh my god, again. All right, great.
It's getting to the point where it's just like, this is boring. Like, well, it's beyond boring, obviously, because it's dangerous and there's things that are actually happening out there that are a danger to like trans people and people of color, minority communities. But it's just like, oh my god, like you are just against humanity. Leave people alone. All these people existed before, fine. Like, just what's going on in your life, Mary? What's happening in your world? Let's dig deep into your sadness.
No, or don't. just don't. Like, do you know what I mean? You pick a corner, stay in it. Do you know what I mean? I've started logging off now. Like, I'll see stuff and I'm like, oh, okay, so this is real. These people exist. And if I close that application on my phone, they don't exist. Also, how old am I that I called it an application rather than app? That's what they used to call them initially.
But you know what I'm realizing now? Like, I don't know why I'm going quieter. I'm
Yeah.
realizing now that I'm getting older because when certain things happen or are said, I'm like, oh, back in our day,
Back in
or
our
like,
day.
oh, when we were younger, the children don't know.
But how different was the world 10 years ago? We've been talking about this.
Listen, the children don't know about dial-up modems. The children don't know about
No, bitch. We had
the
we had
children.
internet,
No,
bro. We
but
had
no,
proper internet 10 years ago.
no. But like further back, I want to go. The children don't know about LimeWire and BearShare and Kazoo and how to download albums and music.
LimeWire, yeah.
They don't know any. The children don't know the struggle of putting a cassette into the thing to like record your favorite song from the radio.
Floppy disks.
Floppy disks. Oh my god, wild!
Because the save icon is a floppy disk.
Yeah.
But then I read somewhere like there was a kid saw a floppy disk and they went, oh, somebody's 3D printed the save icon. I'm like, no, that's a floppy disk.
Do you remember the little paperclip that would help you? And now we've got like AI.
Yeah.
Now we've got Microsoft Copilot.
Yeah.
It's like Copilot, do it for me.
Yeah.
Before it was like,
not that we use
no,
any of
obviously.
that. Everything is organic.
Of course.
What do you think about people who comedians who get AI to write their jokes?
No.
Right?
Chop.
Complete
Drag
chop.
them.
Complete chop Tina.
It's a chop. You're cheating your audience actually.
Oh, mama, I'm fully ready to drag
you need a point of view.
Yeah.
First of all, in your art, why are you cheating your audience?
Yeah.
I think AI should be incorporated because we're not going to be able to run away from it. But you should use it to help support like stuff. I've used it, and some of the ways I've used it is like, do you know when you're like doing a project and you're trying to get everything into like order and stuff? Sometimes I like brain dump.
Mhm.
So I'm like, I always start with a brain dump anyway. So I brain dump and then I'm like, AI, organize this for me.
Oh, stop, I'm swooning.
Some
Sexy. Spreadsheets. Oh my god, Excel.
But can I say something?
What?
This episode was meant to be about you.
Oh, okay, great.
You know?
I've already made it about myself.
You know? It's meant to be about you.
Why?
And your trauma.
Can I have a sip of your water?
Yeah, you may.
Thank you.
Wow.
Does this mug still hold true?
Yeah. I have a love-hate relationship with New York.
Yeah.
So this is about me now.
No, you can't say that when the camera's on. We have to say, we love New York, New York, baby.
New York, baby.
Woo! Go Knicks.
Go. Woo!
And then when the camera's off, and when everyone's at home, everyone's like,
right. Do you know what? I'm going to say it. Do you know what? Right. Do you know those influencer accounts that are like, I'm going to show you and tell you the best sights you can see in New York, or the best nature that you can see in New York. All you have to do is hop on the C train to the L to the 5, 6, 7, 8 train for 10 minutes and then get the New Jersey Transit. It's really easy for half an hour. And then you've got to take a flight around the world twice. And then you've got to walk through this field and through this fence and through this gate and then take the platform 9 3/4 to Hogwarts. And then you've got to fly on an elephant and it'll only take another 5 hours. And you will see the best view of New York City and the best nature. And that's all you have to do. And it'll only cost you $50 million. I'm like, no, stop lying. You might do that for your content, but guess what? Everyone in New York stays in their area and stays at home.
Yeah, it's like run, don't walk. You know, you can see this gorgeous old English style town only an hour away from New York. You need to get a subway from this particular street. I'm like, okay, so that's already added 40 minutes to my journey.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? We're not getting a bus from downtown. Do you know what I mean? And then it's like, and from there, then you'll have to get the Long Island Railroad, whatever. So I'm like, okay, so we're using a different service that's going to cost extra. And it's only $30 one way. Nobody goes one way. We're coming back, Stephanie, with your 10K followers. Okay. So it's $60. Okay. So we're currently in a $65 deficit to see a town that I've already come from in the UK. Okay. And then it's like, and then you get there and you can be in home for evening. And I'm like, so it's a day out for $65. That doesn't sound that great.
No.
And like, oh my God, okay, tourists, fine, stick to Times Square, whatever.
Do your big one.
Yeah, be you main character energy, you be a main character on Times Square, you're the doll, we love you, stay there, whatever. But like the influencers who are like, oh my God, like, oh my God, I'm getting a subway for the first time. Oh my God, this is just like, oh.
Yeah, because really getting the subway is keeping yourself to yourself and trying not to die.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh my god, you just have to try this place. Like all the celebrities have gone there. Who maybe because I'm part of the entertainment world or something, but like I'm like, who cares? Like there's just people. Like yeah, they went to a restaurant. Oh my god, we managed to get a table outside. Yeah, you sat on a pavement. Do you know what I mean? You sat on a pavement and paid $200 for overpriced pizza.
Also, can we talk about, okay, we support independent or whatever, but can we talk about like one coffee shop we went to? It's like, we're going to support independent, and we're like, let's order these 2 iced, coffees, and they're like $18 something.
No, $19.
$19 and
without
tip.
Without a tip.
And fiercely,
bring your own cup.
Fiercely, I was,
bring your
own
coffee.
Recycled cup that doesn't affect the planet or hurt anyone. Bring your own straw. Bring your own coffee beans that you've had to go and get a flight to get. And then we will give you your $19 coffee in about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
And you better get my pronouns right.
Right?
Otherwise, you're not getting anything.
Right? And if you get it wrong.
Otherwise, you're taking your money and you're going home.
And if you get it wrong, you will get thrown out.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mama, I fiercely was like, no. We're leaving. Yeah. This isn't happening. I'm not spending that much for coffee. We have coffee at home.
Yeah. So you're trying to say you like Starbucks?
I never said that. Do not try to cancel me at all. I'm just saying these independent coffee shops need to do better. There's some good ones out there.
Yeah.
So they need to do better.
My favorite independent is Starbucks. I love Starbucks.
You're trying to get us cancelled.
That's my small business.
You're trying to get us cancelled.
That's a small business.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
But that's my local.
Anyway.
Anywho.
It's New York, baby. Do you know when we moved and I used to...
Okay, so what do you like about New York?
I just like me.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
I don't know. Like, just stuff. I like the fact that you can get whatever you want at any time.
Yeah, it's insane.
That is insane. I like the fact there's always something to do because it means that I can see that there's stuff to do and I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
I really like my gym. It's so sickening. Everyone's...
The convenience of New York is unparalleled.
It's insane.
It's insane. I can walk out of my flat and within a 5-block radius, I can buy everything, and I pretty much mean everything I need to do drag.
That's wild. And a rotisserie chicken.
And a rotisserie chicken, yeah.
It's actually insane.
It's insane.
Like, do you know there's that shop down the road and it's like, what, I need bits of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's insane.
You're done. You're actually done. But, this podcast episode was meant to be about you.
Go on.
And so we're going to take a little break.
We're going to take a break already.
And then we're going to bring it back to the trauma.
Okay.
So we will be right back, everyone.
We will be right back.
We are officially back.
We are officially back.
And, we've been away, we've been here, we've been there, we've been everywhere. And I just want to ask you a few questions. Questions that you might have been getting. Or questions that people want to know about. And I've actually written loads of questions down, by the way.
Okay.
Because she's prepared. But I'm not going to read them all because you know me, I go over the top and I'm giving thought you thought. I've written like 17.
We'll make it a 2-part episode.
So I'll start with, a few. So like you have, at time of recording, you haven't gone to Vegas for this competition yet.
Yes.
So what is this competition and why did you not nearly do it? What happened?
So I'm going to be part of a series called Comedy Reviewers, which I believe was broadcast on Amazon Prime last couple of times. And this is something that has landed in my lap multiple times in several iterations. So like, for the longest time we were in conversation with a LGBT TV network in the UK, and then we're going to come to US and I was going to host the show. And it was like a thing to platform me. And there's been other things that are currently in the works, or like, there've been various conversations, and what it's like in the entertainment world. You have a million conversations and, one takes off in 4 years, whatever. But this one was, Comedy Reviewers. It's had established comedians come on and be able to platform themselves as comedians and tell their story essentially. So you get a front and back end. So you see behind the stage and you see what the comedian is like on stage as well. And so the challenge was I'm in New York and that opportunity is in Vegas. And usually I'd be able to foot the bill. So like travel, accommodation, everything.
Yeah. Can I just stop you for a second? Because what a lot of people don't realize is with opportunities, like they're always unpaid. Documentaries are unpaid. Things are unpaid.
Yes.
So you as an artist have to foot the bill for flights,
Yeah.
travel, accommodation,
Yeah.
and you are a self-producing artist. So
Yeah.
even with that, a lot of people don't realize when you self-produce 90% plus of your bookings, essentially you're booking yourself, you're hiring a venue, you're paying the venue, you're paying the tech, and you're paying all the fees.
It's completely self-producing as an artist, and this technically is an audition, but at the same time, it's not, I suppose. But it's an opportunity. Put it that way. Do you know what I mean? You never know what's going to happen in the final edit, obviously, but it's an opportunity, and the deficit comes to, or the cost of it is probably upwards of $1,000 at least, I would say. Flights and accommodation alone are 600, and I sort of crowdsourced this, and I said it's around $400. It's not. It's a lot
What
more.
made you do that? And people, because obviously people are like, why do you ask family? Why do you ask friends?
Well, usually when it comes to these type of opportunities that I've pursued, even in the UK, like when I did Blankety Blank, I think they gave a nominal fee. I can't remember, but like there is a cost to travel, and they provide accommodation. Like you do it knowing that you're going to lose money doing it. Do you know what I mean? But the opportunity to be on TV and to be in front of a bigger audience only enhances your prospects, right? So usually I'm able to foot the bill of those type of things. Unfortunately, since moving to New York, a lot has gone on that has gone against me. Do you know what I mean? Be it political rhetoric, be it migrating, obviously is never an easy thing, but also just one thing after the other after the other. So it got to a point where, like, my audiences aren't as big as they used to be anymore. And they vary from place to place, but I don't have that same pull as I used to right now as a result of things. So then what that means is I'm living the equivalent of paycheck to paycheck, if that. And it's getting to a point where I was like, okay, I can just about keep my head above water as a queer artist, um, but I can't pursue anything beyond this because I don't have the capital. And one of the reasons why is because people aren't turning out. So like if you and I get messages all the time saying you should do this and pursue this and go for TV, blah blah blah. And I'm like, well look, this is what the reality of it looks like.
Yeah, you get a lot of messages.
So if you're able to support me in if you're able to support me in your favorite artist, one of your favorite artists getting on TV, then I'd be really, really grateful for it. So it did require a lot of vulnerability on my part because I've never done anything like this. And just be frankly honest. And FYI, like I had a target of $400 to raise, and I thought to myself, if I don't, I'm just gonna give everybody their money back because it's not necessarily about getting as much as I possibly can out. It's just, this is the situation I find myself in. And let's see if we can pursue it. And if I didn't raise it, I would not go to Vegas, and that would just be the end of that. But I'm pleased to say, like, a lot of people have been very, very supportive, and hit the goal, and we'll be going to Vegas, and that's all really, really exciting, and I'm really, really happy about it. But as far as why don't you get a second job? I was listening to a podcast yesterday of a very established comedian, and he was talking about, having comedy clubs that pay people properly. They don't do that in New York. A few places do, but where I've got stuck sometimes is with charlatans who they're just money grabbers. They don't really care about comedy. They don't really care about the artist. They don't really care about the art form as well. They just care about trapping tourists, and they don't pay the performers. Like they've paid, there's been some that have paid me like a tenth of what I'm worth. And
if
that, and then I'm like, oh, okay, so you were just using me. Do you know what I mean? And so then it's kind of come to the point where, you know, your art suffers if you're an artist true and true, which I am. I'm not good at day jobs, as you well know throughout my relationship. if I'm pursuing a full time job and trying to do drag on the side, it makes complete sense. But my art suffers massively. I cannot do drag at the same level, and we have seen it with so many drag queens. You even see it with Rue girls as well. That when they're not getting the bookings, they're having to do a day job on the side, but then they're barely ever seen, and they're barely ever doing anything creative outside of a corporate
Hmm.
booking or the odd booking here and there. And I don't want that for myself, because then there's no point of me doing drag. I'm not doing anyone any favors by that.
But also, you're not serving your
I'm
purpose,
not
and you're not
serving
doing
my
what you want in
purpose.
your life, and you've got one shot in this life.
Exactly. Family, I can't rely on family because I don't have any apart from you, and I can't be overtly reliant on you because that's just going to damage our relationship.
Mm.
And I'm sorry, but like the desire to be on television is not an essential. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to be like, oh, please, can you bankroll my drag so that it may or may not take off?
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? So that's the reason why I reached out to people to sort of, and it wasn't even to ask money necessarily. It was to sort of just say, guys, what are we thinking? Do you know what I mean? It
Yeah,
was
but
kind of like, so if you can support it, great. If not, that's absolutely fine. There's way more
mm,
worse things going on in the world. But I'm pleased to say people were like, wait, are you kidding me? You got to do this. Go for it. And it was really, really
but the
overwhelming. It was
messages and emails you got was like,
oh,
even I feel like I'm gonna cry
yeah,
when
it
I was
was
reading them.
overwhelming.
Like, I think it was a moment where like a lot of people that are supporters of your art kind of woke up and were like, wait, like this person's art could just go.
Yeah.
Was there like a moment at all in New York where you thought about quitting?
Yeah, there was a month or so ago, we had a conversation, and I sort of said, I think it's time to pack it in.
Mm.
I don't think and I know that there's a lot of haters, including a lot of um, my British drag queen friends, so I thought they were friends, who would be very happy at the fact that I'm quitting. And they've been very vocal about it in the past as well,
I
kind
know.
of like, yeah, just stop it, girl. What are you doing? Kind of thing. Knock you out the way. And I know that this will make many of my haters happy, because I'm one of these artists who, when I started, some of the first comments were stop.
Yeah, I know.
And that was when I started. Like, I'm talking first, second, third post.
Hmm.
You need to stop. So I automatically knew that there was something there, because otherwise, why would they want me to stop?
Oh, we
There's
knew.
something good there. And it just got to a point. I was like, I think it's time to pack it in. I cannot afford to do drag anymore. The bookings aren't coming in. Let's talk about why the bookings aren't coming in. So the first thing is the election. So the election is, we have a conservative president, right? So that changed things, and it changed the rhetoric and narrative. And I'm not saying he's anti-LGBT. I'm not saying he hates the gays. It's none of that. I'm talking people. What I've realized is people think in what I call broad strokes.
Mm.
They think in broad strokes. So conservative president hates the gays, screw the gays, done. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's how people think. And so then they run with that narrative themselves, damaging everything else in the interim. So, I'm not doing traditional drag gigs. I'm a stand-up comedian, so I'm doing comedy gigs. So that already qualifies me out of so many other opportunities, brunches, etc. My drag is very South Asian. The vast majority of consumers of drag, especially live events, are white people,
Hmm.
or they're not South Asian predominantly. So, I'm not going to get booked at a brunch in a sari. I may do, but like it'll be rare, or like people are more interested in seeing the type of drag that they're used to. I'm very much a novelty, and so you can play on that
Mm.
novelty by being a one-off or being something nice to see. And so, like, I have had people fly all over the world come and see my shows, or when they're in town, and that's been great. But also, like, I do attract tourists. I do attract people who are fans of mine, but like they're visiting New York, for
Mm.
example. That has dwindled massively as a result of harsher border control,
Yeah.
or so-called harsher border control. So people, including my fans, have actively said, we are not going to America. So then my audiences, where they started to grow in the US, they started to decline as a result of people not turning up.
Mm.
So you've got a conservative president, and then there's a whole anti-drag rhetoric as well.
Oh my God.
The
Yeah.
government has pulled funding, which means that so many queer artists at the moment are having their work revoked. So they can't work. So it becomes this environment. So then even your average Joe Blogs who wouldn't have any issue, they wouldn't have any issue seeing a drag act, especially a comedian, because they don't really care as to whether you're in drag or not. They're not going to see you, because if there's an anti-drag rhetoric, what they're going to tell their friends on Monday by the water cooler? Oh, we went to see a drag show. Really? They're not safe around children. You know, that bad publicity has been really bad for business. And I think it's high time a lot of drag artists start talking about it. Don't get me wrong. There's some who are doing very, very well. And their audiences are the same. They're absolutely fine. But there is a significant decline based on rhetoric and public image.
No, I see that, and I also just want to say before we like kind of wrap up this half of it is, you know, some people will be like, well, you know, you have such a big following, so you must be rich, and you boys have such a big following, you're rich, and
Doesn't work that way.
Okay, but you don't understand. You're a brown artist, right? You do have a large following as Lady Bushra. Your following is like spread throughout the world.
My
you know, you
have
following in Pakistan, you have following in India, you have following in those places where you're not. You know, your following.
My third biggest.
Your let me just finish. Your following so like spread out. And that is incredible because you get to reach so many people online. But at the same time, it's tough because it hinders you in real life, in person. It hinders you being able to pursue this artistry. So whereas someone might see, well, you did TV with Lady Bunny, so you're rich. I'm like, well, no, you don't. Mama, you think you get paid for that?
Somebody thought that it was a strategic move to work with Lady Bunny because that way I'll get on Drag Race.
Yeah, because you planned it.
I'm like, no, that's not how it works. But that's it, just to sort of wrap it all up. I do have an international following, and that isn't a flex.
No,
it's just true. Like the second or third biggest consumer of my content outside of the US is Brazil.
Yeah,
you know, and that's great. I think number one is US, number two is India, three is Brazil, and it keeps interchanging.
It's so like
so. But that's the reason why TV is of interest.
Yeah.
That is the reason why streaming platforms are of interest, and that's why the reason why I've started my YouTube channel, because I know that people want to see my stuff everywhere. And my YouTube channel is very much in its infancy, but it's grown a lot quicker than I thought it would do. And so then something like Vegas makes complete sense, because I'm like, okay, this could be my opportunity.
Because you're still waiting. What a lot of people don't realize, you're still waiting for that moment.
Yeah,
you know.
Somebody said to me, they were like, "Oh, you will get there. It's just a case of who bites." I'm like, "We'll start biting then."
Yeah,
like I don't understand what we're waiting for.
And it's really important that people get it. If you are a fan, I'm going to say it now. If you are a Lady Bushra fan and you want to see Lady Bushra represent on a bigger, wider scale, keep getting behind Lady Bushra in whatever capacity you can. Do you know what? Whether it's a little tip, whether it's subscribing on YouTube and starting building that area, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, get behind your favorite, and in general, get behind your favorite drag artist. It's really, really important. But I do want to wrap this up. And I do want to continue this in the next episode because I've got some hard-hitting questions. Thank you so much for being like honest and vulnerable, though. I do appreciate it, and I love you so much, and I support you 100.
I love you too.
Anyway, goodbye, everyone.
We love you, but you don't love me.
Goodbye.